Are you ready for a second cup of the morning blend? Here's David and Brenda.
You know, David, you and I were commenting this morning when we meet before we get the show ready that I was feeling a little tired, like I could have used a little extra sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good opportunity to have an early second cup
Yes.
because we just needed a little caffeine to get the morning going. Of course, I think that by the time the show started today, caffeine was working well because we had a good start today. But I found this great article. It's been a few years ago, but it talks about St. Thomas Aquinas. Now, every morning, you know, you don't always feel top of your game, and things happen in life that cause grief and sadness. It's a part of life.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody's there.
Everybody experiences that, and we all have different ways to handle those things, and it's not necessary. Like, even for us on the Morning Blow, it's not necessary for us to just stuff our sadness and just, get about it. I mean, there is work to be done, and we need to make sure that things, flow throughout the day. But when you experience sadness or sorrow, just as the saints did,
Sure.
well, it's okay. It's part of life.
Mm-hmm.
And the saints wrote about sadness, too. And St. Thomas Aquinas, who wrote the Summa, who tried to write everything there is to know about God, well, he had some thoughts about sadness.
All right.
And so I found this great article. He actually came up with 5 remedies for sadness.
5 remedies.
And so I thought, let's go over these because
Yeah.
coming through the holiday season, too, while it's a very happy time, families get together. For those who've experienced loss last year, could be a difficult time, right? So we thought St. Thomas Aquinas is the perfect guide to kind of help us through these times.
Interesting.
So here's his first remedy. He says, grant ourselves something we like.
Yeah.
Okay? So it could be as simple as a chocolate, something to boost your spirits. Maybe, this one actually says may be mere materialistic, but one wouldn't deny that after a tough day, when it's been difficult, a beer or a cocktail to just kind of treat yourself to that, to just remind yourself that there is still good things in life.
Sure.
Okay, so that's his first suggestion.
I like that.
The second remedy, weeping.
Ah, okay.
St. Thomas Aquinas says it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Just let yourself feel what you feel and cry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that's excellent. Men, I think, have a more difficult time with that than women.
Yeah, I would
tend
say.
to. Overall,
Sure.
that's not the specific, but overall, because men kind of are all throughout their lives are built up to, boys don't cry.
Right.
Right? But no, that's just a human reaction, a human emotion. So
what you're saying is it's wrong to say there's no crying in baseball.
there is crying,
There is
in,
crying
baseball.
in baseball.
Just probably not during the game.
Right.
Maybe say that for after. The third remedy, this is perfect. Sharing that sorrow with a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Share it with your
That's
friend.
right. It's nice to have that. You can have someone to do that.
Someone to do that with. And that friend can do that in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I know for myself that if a friend shares something that is just sorrowful, I feel that with them.
Right.
I enter right into that sorrow. And for some people, well, it's like, I hear you.
Yeah.
And I am here to support you in any way that I can.
And sometimes you don't even have to say anything. It's just to be that person who can listen.
To be that person who can listen.
Right.
Yeah. Or you think about friends who they've shared something that this has happened and they say, hold on, I'll be right there.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they have? Ice cream.
Right.
Or a treat. Or
Something,
something like that. You see how these fit together.
Oh, yeah.
These aren't modern remedies for sorrow. These are for a long time.
Right.
This has kind of been the way that we deal with things, the human experiences
Sure.
from the beginning.
You might even take that a step further by saying if you're sad about maybe something that you've done that you didn't feel good about, we have confession. And how often you can do that and come out feeling so much better.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. And even for many people, too, getting that off your chest, it kind of releases in sometimes tears, and then you leave and you just feel like the weight has been lifted.
Right, exactly.
Right? Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking today about St. Thomas Aquinas and his suggested 5 remedies against sadness. Okay, so we've talked about granting us something that we like, St. Thomas Aquinas said it's okay to cry about it, and then to share that sorrow with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So now St. Thomas Aquinas goes on to say the fourth remedy against sadness is contemplating the truth. And what this is, actually, David, goes a little bit along the lines of what you just said about going to confession.
Yeah.
Now, contemplating the truth, it actually has to do with, like an effective balm against sadness. A literary critic, a few days after the death of a dear friend, was scheduled to speak at a conference about a topic of the adventure in the works of Tolkien. He began by saying, speaking about beautiful things to people interested in them, for him, was a real consolation.
Interesting.
So just, entering into truth and beauty. Sometimes that can be listening to beautiful music.
I'm a big music person, so,
right?
If I'm feeling that way, boy, that helps me tremendously.
And just like experiencing beauty, I think is a great way to do that, whether it be in literature, in faith, through music, on a walk.
Yeah.
Right?
Getting outdoors.
Okay. So the next one that he says, and the third one, and they say here in the article that St. Thomas, perhaps something we wouldn't expect from a medieval thinker, but the theologian says that a wonderful remedy against sadness is bathing and sleeping.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It's funny. I was just talking with my daughter who was trying to work out some things for school, and it was just really stressful on her. I mean, it was really stressful. And I said, it's okay. This will work out. And then once we got through it, I said, you know what? Go take a hot shower. Just let that wash over you and send the sadness away and take a nap. Going through an emotional experience can be draining.
Oh, sure.
And I just think, wow, how very ordinary of St. Thomas Aquinas to say, take a bath, take a nap. We hope that those suggestions for overcoming sadness might help you today, and we hope you enjoyed today's Second Cup.